Hello gorgeous, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new, and if you are new, it would mean so much if you guys click that subscribe button to join my YouTube family. Today's topic is going to be all about spotting fake friends. I'm going to be sharing 10 signs that you may have a toxic friend in your life or a friend that's jealous of you. I recently did a story time all about my toxic ex-best friend, and you guys seem to actually really enjoy that video and really relate to it. And there are also some details after filming that video that I totally forgot about, and I will definitely be sharing more details about my personal story with a toxic ex-best friend and kind of the signs that I saw pop up in that relationship, and maybe it could be useful for anything you're going through. Of course, friends and people are just allowed to make mistakes, and your friendship is not going to be perfect, of course. It's same with any relationship you have in your life. I'm not someone to just drop someone just like that because of one little mistake, but if you start to really feel like your friend is just no longer the best thing for you, then the chances are you are in a toxic relationship. Generally, a toxic friendship typically emotionally harms you, and it doesn't help you in any sort of way. I think it's really important to surround yourself with people that uplift you and want nothing but the best for you. You really notice a difference when you have a supportive and genuinely good friend as opposed to someone that is just fake and secretly doesn't want the best for you. If you guys have ever went through a friendship or breakup or anything, you can always leave your stories down below. You can also follow me on Instagram at NicolettaXOYT and talk to me over on there. That being said, let's jump right into the signs. Sign number one is they are a whole lot of drama, and that is exactly what happened with my ex-best friend, which we called Sarah in my story time. No matter what the story is, these people, I guarantee you will hear about it. Or even worse, you will get dragged into it yourself. So I find that people that are really toxic always tend to be in drama, whether they are arguing with someone, they don't like someone, or really anything. It's never smooth sailing in their life. There's always a million things going at once, and they're always complaining about different things or pulling you into these dramatic situations. And I feel like that is exactly how I felt when I was in my friendship with Sarah. I felt like she always had something go on in her life. Every single day there was something new, and she would always try to drag you into the drama, and she would talk crap about some person or another person. Next day she was arguing with another person, and it was just like honestly a soap opera TV show. Like I said, it was just very chaotic, and that is a big sign that a person may be toxic. And that brings me to sign number two, which is everything is about them. Toxic people want all of the spotlight and attention on them, and they don't want to have the attention on anyone else. These type of people, they tend to always be waiting for their time to tell their story, or let's say you're talking about something that's unrelated to both of you, somehow they will try to twist it into relating it back to them, and once again talking back to them. And this is another thing that I talked about with Sarah in my story time. I told you guys a lot that it was always about her, and I felt like I could never express anything I was feeling, talking about what's going on in her life, how she's feeling, how she's doing, but she would never bother to ask how I was doing or listen to me. She always just wanted it to be right back on her and the attention and everyone just looking and listening to her. Sign number three is they constantly put you down. So a toxic person rarely ever compliments you or congratulates you on anything you accomplish. To be honest, toxic people secretly don't want you to get something that they don't have. They don't make you feel good about yourself. If someone is making you feel drained, like they're sucking the energy out of you, chances are you are in a toxic friendship. Toxic people are more likely to kick you when you're down than to actually be happy for you when something good happens in your life. But if something horrible happens in your life or something bad is happening, they're likely to kind of make you feel even worse. Personally, like I said, all these signs are signs I saw in my old friendship with Sarah. She would constantly put me down and make me feel like I was never good enough and that I needed to lose weight, or she was smarter than me or better than me, or she could get this person, I couldn't because I'm not as pretty. Like, she would always make me feel like I was never good enough and that I needed to change myself to be like her to be good enough. If you find yourself in a situation like this, then you have to be aware that you could be in a toxic friendship, because friends generally are gonna want the best for you. And when something good happens in your life, you could tell if someone is being fake happy for you or if they are genuinely happy for you and your accomplishments. If you're ever in that situation, you just have to kind of think about it, because why would a friend want the worst for you? Friends can be like a family to you. You're supposed to love them and just want everything for them and the best for them. So if you find you have a so-called friend that's always putting you down, then that may not be a real friend. And that leads me to sign number 4, is they compete with you. So they make everything into a competition, even if you don't want to compete. So they're kind of competing with themselves against you, but you're not even competing, because of course, why would you want to compete with your best friend or your friend? Toxic people don't like the idea of you having something and they don't. They always want to have more than you, and they want to have the better option or the best thing on top of what you have. They could compete with you on so many different topics in your life, whether it's a job or a romantic partner or just a skill or hobby you picked up. They are going to want to be better than you in all of those categories. You're supposed to be each other's support systems and helping each other get through all the amazing aspects of life. And if you find that they're constantly making things into a competition, or they're saying they did better than you and this and that, then most likely they aren't really great for you. And that leads me to sign number 5, is they secretly copy you. And I have a funny story when it comes to this one, but I will first talk about this and then I'll get into my story, because it is just so funny when I look back on this. People that are toxic can literally make the competition go one step further. So a toxic person will start to mimic you, but try to do it better. I'm gonna talk about a situation I went through with my ex-friend, Sarah. When I met this person, I was in university, and a little bit later into university, I got my hair dyed. And this was like one of the first times I got my hair dyed, and I was so excited. And I was really into balayage. This was the time balayage was like so popular, and no one really did balayage before, and it just became such a big trend. And I always wanted to have light hair, so I decided that I am going to do balayage. So it was like I went down to a blonde. I was so into the trend because I thought it looked so beautiful, but it was also really great because it was very low maintenance. So that is what I did. I got my hair done and I got balayage. So when I went back to school, you could tell Sarah was saying, oh, I like your hair, but it was very fake. I just got this vibe that it was fake and that she really didn't like my hair. She was kind of just saying that. But I didn't really care because I knew that I liked it. And later on, I go onto Facebook, and what do I see on Facebook? I see a status that Sarah made. And pretty much Sarah wrote a status about balayage hair and said, why would anyone want to get balayage hair? It looks like your hair is just dirty 24/7. What? This is coming from my best friend. She just saw my hair. It totally reminded me of like that Mean Girl scene. The ironic thing is, not long after, Sarah got her hair dyed. And what did Sarah get her hair? She got balayage, where it was exactly like mine with the brown, and then it went to the blonde. But I thought your hair looked dirty 24/7 with balayage, so why are you getting it? Suspect. So that just goes to show you that is a perfect example. They will maybe even try to mimic you and just try to look better, be better than you. They just want, once again, all the attention on them. Sign number 6 is they make you feel uncomfortable. So a lot of the times, toxic friends pretty much do whatever they want, whatever they feel like. They don't really think about your feelings or don't really care, because you can even tell them, I don't like when you do this, or can you please not do this? They just won't listen to you and they'll keep doing it, and they don't care if it makes you feel uncomfortable. They have a way too of manipulating it so that you start to feel bad and you think, oh, maybe I'm overreacting. They're really good at knowing how to manipulate the situation so that in the end they get their way. They have no respect for your space and may make you think that you're abandoning them. I have another little quick story when it comes to good old Sarah and this situation. So if you find yourself in any of the situations I'm explaining, then trust me, you may want to rethink about if that is a true friendship. So a situation that I went through where I felt really uncomfortable constantly was Sarah would always call me this name. And let's just say this nickname that she gave me was really, really rude. And she would call me it in front of everyone, whether it was a guy coming up or a girl, whoever it was, but I just felt so uncomfortable. It was so rude. Another thing she would do is I was kind of the butt to all her jokes. So meaning that she would always just make fun of me, but it was just a joke. And at first I was like, you know, whatever, it's just a joke, like I don't care. But then it was becoming excessive where all we were talking about was making fun of me constantly. And that was always what the jokes were around. And I remember I just couldn't take it anymore. And I remember telling her, can you just stop doing that? Because I don't like it. It's not funny anymore. And I'm not okay with you calling me those names and making fun of me in front of everyone. And did she cut it out? No, she just made me feel bad for kind of getting mad about the situation and talking to her about it. She turned it as in like, I'm taking it way too seriously and I'm being rude to her. They're really good at knowing how to manipulate you so that you feel bad. And a lot of the times, toxic friends really know how to grab you and pull you in and kind of get you close and pull on your heartstrings, but then they know how to manipulate you at the same time later on so that you are always the one feeling guilty or questioning what you're doing and maybe thinking it's you and not them. Sign number 7 is they are obsessively needy for you. So they will call or text you at all hours or times of the day, even if you tell them that you're busy at this time or you're busy at this day. They will still go ahead and call you or text you with any problem that they are dealing with. And this could be a little problem that's really could have waited, but they just needed to talk to you right now because everything is an emergency. You really need to feel this out. Of course, when you have a friend, like I don't mind if my friends are calling me or text me over a situation maybe they're going through, maybe it is an emergency or they just really need to talk to someone. Of course, I would be there, and I just think that's part of friendship and relationships. But if you're starting to see all these signs at once, then it is definitely not a healthy friendship. It's starting to definitely turn unhealthy if they always need to have your attention 24/7, but then at the same time, you can't ever tell them anything because they won't be there for you. And that leads me to sign number 8, which they are jealous of your friends. So a lot of the times, toxic people start to get jealous of the people that you're around in your life. They try to isolate you from people so that you rely on them and that everything's about them. They may start to criticize your friends to your face, maybe even make you turn against your other friends that you have. So I have an actually really great another little story with Sarah. And I just remember this, it kind of always stuck in my brain even though it happened so many years ago. I just remember this time because I felt like it was so rude and just uncomfortable. One day, my best friend, she lived at my university. And I don't know what the situation was or what happened, but basically Sarah couldn't go home for that night and she had nowhere to go. So she lived pretty far from the school. So my best friend was nice enough to let Sarah stay at her place. So my best friend was not close at all with Sarah, but she did it for me and she allowed Sarah and I and her to sleep over at her place. And the whole time, Sarah is just making fun of my best friend, not necessarily in front of her face. So the first situation was my friend went and took a shower and she was singing in the shower and Sarah just looks at me and whispers so she doesn't hear it and says like, oh my God, she's the worst singer. Like, what is she doing? And she's just dying of laughter, making fun of her. And meanwhile, my best friend is nice enough letting her sleep over and she's making fun of my best friend, and Sarah knows this is my best friend of many years. So why you would make fun of my best friend in front of me, I don't know. But I remember thinking that she was extremely rude when she did that, and I pretty much told her to cut it out and to stop, and that's not okay. And this was like right before we pretty much stopped being friends. She would always make fun of people except for herself. Like, she could do no wrong, but everyone else just living their life, she would just always criticize them and make fun of them. If friends are gonna talk about other friends to you, they're definitely going to at some point talk about you behind your back. Just the grin on her face, her just laughing, and the way she was acting was so immature and just so disrespectful, and it really turned me off and it disgusted me because I don't want to surround myself with people that are just mean-spirited people like that, and that's just not okay. Sign number 9 is you feel responsible for them. So even when your friend is doing something wrong or she's in the wrong, they somehow turn it around so that you still feel bad for them and what they're going through. So they could be the reason that they're in the wrong. And I was in a situation once with Sarah that Sarah liked this guy, and this guy had a girlfriend. I just could not stand for that. I did not take her side when it came to that. She would constantly complain about it. The guy's girlfriend got mad one day at Sarah. They bumped into each other at a bar, and it led to a huge fight because Sarah was pretty much being inappropriate with this guy who had a girlfriend of 5 years. And she would always turn it and have a whole sob story on how it's so wrong what the girl's doing to her. But in the end of the day, Sarah was in the wrong because you don't go after someone else's relationship. Like, that is just disgusting. That is something I cannot stick up for a friend for, and I just don't believe in, and I'm not going to change my beliefs. But Sarah was really great at manipulating you to make it think that the other girl's in the wrong and Sarah's in the right. So you always feel like you're responsible for them, and they somehow turn it around so that you always feel bad for them no matter what the situation is. Toxic people will have a lot of narcissistic traits to them, and that's exactly what I had to deal with my toxic friend. She was pretty much to me a narcissist. And sign number 10 is they are hypocritical. They will make you feel bad for something and then they'll end up doing it. So for example, if they want your time, then they expect it and demand it. But one day if you need them, they don't make enough time for you. But toxic people won't ever feel bad for letting you down. They'll say one thing and then they won't expect you to do it, but then they are allowed to do it. So it's very just hypocritical, and a lot of the times I had to deal that with Sarah. She would say, oh, someone should be doing this. If someone does this, they're a bad person. And then the next day she will do that exact thing that she was talking crap about other people doing. But then because it's her, I guess it doesn't apply to her. They're always saying one thing, but then their actions show another thing. These are all the 10 signs on how to spot if you are in a toxic friendship. I hope this was really useful. I will link my ex-best friend story time above, like I said, in the description box. Definitely go check it out. I share a lot more details of my story with my ex-toxic best friend. And if you guys can relate with this, let me know. Comment down below any of your stories. When I let go of my ex-best friend, Sarah, I felt a lot better, and it kind of felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, and I started to really see what a true friend is and surrounded myself with those type of people. And I just find you do a lot better in life, and you're a lot more happier in life if you surround yourself with people that aren't so draining. If you feel like you're getting the life sucked out of you and your energy is just getting sucked out of you by certain people being in your life, that's a good indicator that maybe that person isn't the best for you and you may be in a toxic friendship. And you really want to make sure that you are investing your time into people that really deserve it and that aren't going to ruin the quality of your life, because no friend should be ruining the quality of your life. It should always be a good thing, bringing friends into your life. It doesn't matter how many friends you have. It just really depends on the quality of your friends, and you always want to surround yourself with people that you can genuinely 100% trust and that support you. Don't forget to click the subscribe button to join my YouTube family. We are getting closer and closer to 1 million, and I'm definitely going to be uploading a lot more videos during the week, so stay tuned for that. Click the bell to be notified when I do upload, and on that note, I will catch you guys all in my next video. Bye!